against Bitcoin.
It's going up forevermore.
You're against Bitcoin, you're against freedom.
Yo, welcome to another episode of Simply Bitcoin Live. We are your number one source for the peaceful Bitcoin revolution, cover breaking news, culture, dramatic warfare. We will be your guide through the separation of money and state. Mark Zuckerberg, well, he didn't say it directly, but someone, a top Facebook executive by the name of David Marcus, said that Mark Zuckerberg is a Bitcoiner. And you'd say, okay, what does that matter, Nico? Well, the context matters. Why he led to the inevitable conclusion of, okay, you know, maybe this Bitcoin thing is pretty cool after all. And then not to mention the fact that he is the CEO of a public company, a massive public company that has a whole lot of cash on their balance sheet. And if they have a whole lot of cash on their balance sheet with the latest inflation numbers, they're literally bleeding cash. Bitcoin is, you know, Bitcoin could save Facebook, also known as Meta these days, a whole lot of money. But other than that, the interesting point, and we're gonna play you guys a clip, and the clip comes from the great What Bitcoin Did podcast by Peter McCormack, and how they came to that conclusion. And the reason they came to realize, oh, wow, this Bitcoin thing is the real deal, is because they tried to launch Libra. They tried to launch Diem, which is the cryptocurrency that Facebook tried to launch, and they wanted this global adoption for it. And it was shut down by governments. They stopped it. Remember, governments did something very similar to PayPal, right? And they kind of Frankenstein PayPal. Because the original vision of PayPal was to basically give everyone around the world access to money online. And the reason that this is so significant is this is the exact same problem that Elon Musk is eventually going to run into, because he does want to make X.com, Twitter into a global payments platform. But he's going to run into the same problem that PayPal ran into, and he's going to run into the same problem that Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, now called Meta, run into, which is if it is centralized, it will inevitably either be shut down or co-opted by governments. You need decentralization. As the Fidelity report pointed out yesterday, Bitcoin's decentralization is unique. It's what makes it stand out amongst all the other altcoins on the market right now. So yeah, I think it is pretty significant. Now, of course, this is hearsay, right? This isn't Mark Zuckerberg going out and saying, oh, I like Facebook. There's a top executive at Facebook that worked closely with Mark Zuckerberg saying this. But look, just use common sense. Look at what happened to Diem. Look at what happened to Libra. They were so hyped about that. He had congressional committees where he was like grilled in front of Congress about what they were going to do. And of course, like, why was this happening? Why were they grilling him? Because it's not like it's not like he was trying to do anything bad. He was like trying to provide value like an entrepreneur. The thing is that governments do not like competition because their power stems from not only their monopoly on violence, but most importantly, their monopoly on money, their monopoly on the controls of money, and also their monopoly on the creation of money. And now all of a sudden this thing, remember the famous Hayek video, this sly roundabout way where they can't make Bitcoin go away. And because they can't make Bitcoin go away, it's a forcing function and they have to compete with it. And they're going to get wrecked, which is why they hate it the way they do. Because if it's a competition and people have a choice between a currency that is not inflationary, it's actually deflationary, increases in purchasing power over time. And if they had a choice between a currency that is inflationary and censored, what do you think people are going to choose? over a long period of time, that's a one-way door towards Bitcoin. Once you're on a Bitcoin standard, you ain't going back to fiat. I don't think I've ever met one person that has ever gone back to fiat once they've truly grasped Bitcoin, once they've truly taken self-custody of Bitcoin. And that's a large hop. It's difficult. I'm not going to lie. But once you get it, once you take self-custody of your Bitcoin, once you feel the magic of sending Satoshis anywhere around the world, once you feel the magic of the Lightning Network, right? And once you feel the magic of, and also the heart attack of recovering a wallet just by putting 24 words, and you're like, holy cow, this is going to fundamentally change the world, you ain't going back, right? So anyways, it's going to be a great episode. I think this is another historic milestone. How you doing, Opti? Are you still in your dad's office?
Yes, I am still in my parents' basement, guys. As you can tell, I don't have the studio behind me. Anyways, what's up, everybody? It's Friday the 13th, guys. I hope some spooky stuff doesn't happen today. Things are getting crazy out there. But yeah, man, I saw some of the inklings that you're talking about, and to your point, we say it all the time. I think if people have the choice between a full dystopian tracked and bagged money versus freedom money that Bitcoin is, I'm almost positive that people will always choose freedom coin, aka Bitcoin. So, you know, I have hope in people. I don't know. This year kind of black-pilled me a lot in humans, for better or worse. But I still have hope in people, and I still have hope in the future. Hence why we are Bitcoiners. Hence why it's Optimus Fields, because Bitcoin gives us hope. Bitcoin is hope, guys. And I really do think that Bitcoin's incentives will trump all of the fiat incentives. And someone said it in the chat, which is kind of what I think as well. It's like you would think that name any top tech CEO of your choice would simply accept the inevitability of Bitcoin, or rather see the value in Bitcoin. But hey, here we are. Maybe it's kind of one of those things that we saw with BlackRock, where before the BlackRock endorsement, it didn't seem like it had legitimacy. And so people were afraid to put their reputations on the line and embrace Bitcoin, but secretly they're all stacking Bitcoin. So I think moving forward, it's going to become, like I say all the time, the defining conversation. Not only what is money, but are you a Bitcoiner? Do you hold Bitcoin? Like we can keep saying, you know, like it's just very obvious that you can't hold fiat. And if you're one of these mega corporations, not to use big words, but it would behoove you to hold some Bitcoin on your balance sheet and use the micro strategy and make sure you got some holdings of the corn on your balance sheet, or else it's gonna be a rough day. Because I hopefully in the numbers, are you bringing up that CPI chart that Brady had, the real one?
We should definitely.
I could put it for the memes. I could do it for the memes.
We'll do it for the memes.
I'll pull it up for the memes. Like when you see what the numbers are, it's absolutely mind blowing that anyone believes the Keynesians out there, because the numbers are ridiculous. Anyways, we'll talk about that during the memes.
Yeah, 100%. All right, everybody, it's going to be a great show. Let's jump straight into the numbers. Let's do it. Here we go.
The Bitcoin numbers.
Is your Bitcoin in cold storage really secure? Is your seed phrase really secure? Stamp Seed's do-it-yourself kit has everything you need to hammer your seed words into commercial-grade titanium plates instead of just writing them on paper. Don't store your generational wealth on paper. Paper is prone to water damage, fire damage. You want to put your generational wealth on one of the strongest metals on planet Earth, titanium. Your words are actually stamped into this metal plate with this hammer and these letter stamps. And once your words are in, they aren't going anywhere. No risk of the plate breaking apart and pieces falling everywhere. Titanium stamped seeds will survive nearly triple the heat produced by a house fire. They're also crush-proof, waterproof, non-corrosive, and time-proof. All things that paper is not, allowing you to hodl your Bitcoin with peace of mind for the long haul. Stamp your seed on Stamp Seed. All right, guys, I made it super easy for you guys. All you got to do is scan the QR code on your screen right now. It will take you directly to the Stamp Seed website, where you can get yourself a titanium seed phrase storage kit. You can use promo code SIMPLY. You get 15% off anything on the Stamp Seed website. At the time of recording, the Bitcoin price is $26,760. Sats per dollar, 3,737. Block height, 812,021. Blocks to halving, 27,979. Halving estimate, April 21st, 2024. Total Lightning Network capacity, 5,232 Bitcoin. Capacity value, 140 million US dollars. Realized monetary inflation, 1.74%. Market capitalization, $522 billion with the B. The Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 4.09%. In the grand scheme of things, Bitcoin is still a tiny little baby. When the Bitcoin market cap reaches the gold market cap, which I think is going to happen a lot quicker than people think, that puts the price of Bitcoin at $500,000 per coin. Anyways, guys, if you are enjoying the show, make sure to smash that like button. Consider subscribing if you feel like we're providing you value. And of course, shout out to our Rumble listeners, our Twitter listeners as well. We appreciate you guys. If you guys can't find us on YouTube for whatever reason, you guys can subscribe to us on Rumble. That audience has been growing. So we appreciate all you guys at Rumble. All right, everybody. So let's talk about today's video, which I think is kind of a big deal. I'm not going to lie. So this is David Marcus. Let's take a look at who David Marcus is. Now he is the CEO and co-founder of Lightspark. But he was part of Messenger at Meta, which is now Facebook, and he led PayPal for a while, and he built 3 startups, and he's obviously an avid Bitcoiner. So let's take a look at what he has to say, and then we're going to connect the dots for you guys like we always do. Let's check it out.
You can theorize a lot about the experience we've had, but having lived it, has changed my worldview and my appreciation in such a way that now I have this unshakable conviction that Bitcoin is the only form of neutral internet money there will ever be. And it's one thing saying it because you have laser shooting from your eyes. It's another coming to that conclusion after having tried for the right reasons, I believe for the right reasons, to build a technology that would scale to billions of people and that could provide a stable form of digital money that would travel on this new scalable payment system. And then you come to the realization that actually private companies issuing a new unit of account of anything that has that kind of distribution is problematic.
You might not want to answer this, but is Zuck is he a Bitcoiner?
Yeah. He appreciates Bitcoin, but yeah, I think we had a lot of conversations about this.
Yeah,
especially when I was struggling with seeing how we could decentralize this thing enough. We've had a lot of conversations, and the tension was between full decentralization and the reality of scalability, usability issues, and then the volatility that we would have to put people through to enable them to use a product. So it was, and then when you look at very good currencies like the dollar, and some will argue it's not, etc. But I think everyone in the world. I think we talked about your trip to Lebanon and other places where people what they want is to hold dollars.
Yep.
And when you have a good currency like the dollar, the volatility or the lack of volatility required for you to create a digital asset that can match it is very, very, very small.
So he said a couple things which are extremely interesting, right? And he said he was talking about the importance of decentralization. Like why did he bring that up, and why was he saying that Zuck is a fan of this? Well, they had a really bad experience. Let's go back in time and talk about Diem, also known as Libra, and Diem. And it was named Libra before, was a permissioned blockchain. Quote, the key word there is permissioned. Permissioned blockchain-based stablecoin payment system proposed by the American social media company Meta, also known as Facebook. The plan also included a private currency implemented as a cryptocurrency. The launch was originally planned in 2020, but only rudimentary experimental code was released. The project currency and transactions would have been managed and cryptographically entrusted to the Diem Association, basically meaning that they'd be controlled by Facebook. Before 2020, the project was called Libra, although this was changed to Diem following legal challenges regarding its name and logo. The project generated backlash from government regulators in the European Union, the USA, and other countries among the general public over monetary sovereignty, financial stability, privacy, and antitrust concerns, which ultimately helped kill the project, right? So essentially it was killed because of its lack of decentralization. Before I continue, I want to bring up our very special guest, the head of events at Swan Bitcoin. She is the genius that threw the Pacific Bitcoin Festival that just happened, Pacific Bitcoin 2023. We have Kristen Thompson. How you doing, Kristen?
Good morning. Happy Friday, guys.
Happy to have you join us. Guys, we're going to talk about the Pacific Bitcoin Festival 2024. It's going to be bigger than ever, better than ever, of course, because we have Kristen helming the ship. We're going to talk about that a little bit during the culture segment coming up, but let's continue talking about Zuckerberg admitting, or better said, a top Facebook executive admitting that Mark Zuckerberg is a fan of Bitcoin. So let's break down how Bitcoin would help Facebook. So if you take a look at how much cash Facebook has on hand, they have $53 billion worth of cash on hand. If you take a look at the latest inflation data, it's at 3.7%. So let's do a little bit of simple mathematics. I know Greg would be a huge fan of this. So we put in $58 billion, right? And we multiply it by 0.037, the latest inflation numbers, and it's costing roughly, no, I totally did that math wrong. Let's try it again one more time.
I would never know. It looked good to me.
Let's try that one more time. Let's go 53 billion US dollars. 53 billion US dollars multiplied by 0.037. Let's do it again. And yes, holy cow. I thought I got it wrong the first time, but it is absolutely striking. Inflation is costing Facebook $1.9 billion worth of purchasing power, holding that $53 billion in cash. Bitcoin is a solution to this. So we know that Mark Zuckerberg is a fan of Facebook, according to the Facebook top executive. And I'm sure he's aware of what MicroStrategy is doing. Here's Michael Saylor illustrating his strategy at MicroStrategy, proving to the world, proving to other public companies that it's a viable alternative to holding fiat money on the balance sheet. And he's making the case here, and it's a very strong case. On the bottom, it says performance since August 10th, 2020, when MicroStrategy adopted its Bitcoin strategy. Silver is down 20%, bonds are down 19%, gold is down 7%, the NASDAQ is up 21%, S&P 500 is up 30%, Bitcoin is up 118%. Here's another very, I love this website. It's called Priced in Bitcoin. And if you were saving in Bitcoin rather than dollars have actually gotten 76% cheaper over a 5-year time scale. On a 3-year time scale, dollars have gotten 56% cheaper. On a 1-year time scale, dollars have gotten 28% cheaper. If you're a millennial or a Zoomer and you're just starting your life and you're trying to purchase a home, if you were saving in Bitcoin, even with housing prices here in South Florida, housing prices have doubled. Housing would still be 62% cheaper if you were saving in Bitcoin. On a 3-year time scale, housing would be 53% cheaper. So I think all roads lead to Bitcoin. I think Zuckerberg is going to reach the inevitable conclusion, if he does want to add a payments platform to Facebook or to Meta, he's going to have to use Bitcoin. He's going to have no choice. He tried with Diem. He tried a centralized option. It clearly got shut down. And not to mention, on the other side of things, clearly a Bitcoin strategy, even if it's a small percentage, it doesn't have to be 100% of your fiat holdings, it could be 5-10%, and that will make up for the loss of purchasing power due to inflation. So I think all roads lead to Bitcoin. Zuck already got a little bit, he burnt his finger, so to speak, on the stove. So how long until Facebook announces that they might have some Bitcoin on their balance sheet? I don't know. Who knows? This is speculative, but it is an exciting conversation. Anyways, Opti, what's your take? We'll get Kristen's take, and then we'll talk about the Pacific Bitcoin 2024 Festival.
Yeah, well, Nico, I thought you were going to say the most revealing bit of breadcrumbs out there is that Mark Zuckerberg's goats are named Max and Bitcoin.
Wait, what?
Yeah, look it up, verified. It's a Facebook post that was a couple of years ago. He's got apparently goats, and one of them is named Bitcoin. Though he does say that he will slaughter and eat the goats. So I don't know if that's like a sacrificing Bitcoin or something. I don't know. I'm speculating here. But his
that got dark very quick.
Okay, I was imagining a lovely goat cheese.
Hey. His goats are named Max and Bitcoin, and apparently he likes to eat them. So I don't know if there's something there. Or he actually loves them. I don't know. But I think to your point, he's probably been hodling Bitcoin. Again, I think it's kind of what I said in the beginning of the show, where people in those positions, they can't really embrace Bitcoin yet because it does have that like reputational, I don't know, damage if they embrace Bitcoin right now and the price fluctuates too much. Like, remember when Elon was embracing Bitcoin? Like, not only was there fervor around him pumping Bitcoin and pumping Dogecoin, but then once it dumped, everyone was like, oh, Elon Musk got me wrecked. So I am sure that these people in this position are thinking about that. But I think what I really liked about that video that you played, Nico, was the inevitable journey from shitcoiner to Bitcoiner. You know, David Marcus, say what you want about him, say what you want about his attempt to create his own stable coin or Facebook coin or whatever you want to call it. And he finally went through the steps that all of us Bitcoiners go through, but he did it in real time. And he tried, you know, at least in his words, giving him the benefit of the doubt, he tried to do it with good intentions. And hey, you know, what's the saying? Good intentions are the road to hell are paved with good intentions. And here we are. Like, he finally realized that, oh, this is why Bitcoin is different. Like, this is why you want to hold Bitcoin. This is why you want to build on Bitcoin, because there is a lot of regulation that you have to jump over. Like, there is a lot of centralization issues that you will face. And the only thing that is outside anyone's control is Bitcoin. And this is why Bitcoin is different. This is why Bitcoin is superior. And so I really love hearing him basically in a minute be like, oh yeah, like I was a shitcoiner. And then I realized why it is Bitcoin. And I have huge conviction in Bitcoin and the project and building on Bitcoin and hodling Bitcoin. So love to see it.
It's not only that, it's like they realize that without using something that's truly decentralized, it will inevitably be co-opted. It will inevitably be shut down. So like he couldn't have reached another conclusion. Like he realized what Bitcoiners have been screaming from the rooftops for so long. Anyways, Kristen, what are your thoughts on this before we move on to the culture segment?
Well, I'll keep it really brief. You guys summed it up great, but my thinking has always been that Zuck was really just jealous of the Winklevoss twins, and that was his whole motivation for creating his own coin. We knew it wasn't going to work, but it's been fun watching it not work in the meantime.
I love that take. Yeah.
Maybe he's not holding Bitcoin in spite of the Winklevoss.
Like,
I mean, or he's just going to be real quiet about it. But I think he's still bitter, and I'm here for it. But I'm also here to watch Bitcoin succeed, which is it's been great watching Facebook fail, and we'll see. Sooner or later, we know Bitcoin's inevitable.
It is.
Wait, in light of what Kristen said, maybe that's why the goat was named Bitcoin, so he could slaughter it.
Oh, it's all coming together.
It's all coming together. Oh God. All right, guys, let's get to the culture. Let's talk about the Pacific Bitcoin Festival. All right, let's do it.
Well, first off,
The Daily Culture.
brought to you by swanbitcoin.com. Swan is the best way to build your Bitcoin stack with automated Bitcoin savings plans and instant purchases, serving clients of any size from $10 to $10 million. We love Swan because they incentivize self-custody and dollar cost averaging. What are you waiting for? Visit swanbitcoin.com today. Guys, you can scan the QR code on your screen right now and take you directly to the Pacific Bitcoin Festival website. Get your tickets to the Pacific Bitcoin Festival 2024. Get your early bird ticket specials. I think it's for $249 right now, right, Kristen?
That is true. You know, this is the hot moment to grab your tickets. You know how to hodl your Bitcoin, hodl your PB ticket as well. Buy it now while the price is low. Watch the price go up the rest of the year and you'll feel like you're winning by the time it's Pacific Bitcoin time, and you will be. We are seriously already, as you know, Nico, behind the scenes talking about ways of making the event even better next year for everybody. We do not waste one moment getting to work on the newest year's event. But first off, I just wanted to say it was great to see you and to see Simply at Pacific Bitcoin. You guys were rocking it, live streaming. How was it for you?
I had my Swan hat on. I was doing my Swan duties. That's a question for Opti. Opti, I'm gonna make you full screen. How was it for you, bro?
Well, all right. This time, last year I was more in the audience, hanging out in the crowd.
Yes.
This year I was working behind the scenes, so it was totally a different experience. But absolutely love it. Just loved hanging out with Bitcoiners. It was really awesome to just get a bunch of love from everyone, like everyone in the chat that hung out with us. But it's different working the festivals than it is hanging out at the festivals. So I'd much prefer hanging out at the festivals and having no responsibilities, because I love LA. I love hanging out and watching the basketball players play, and just shooting the shit with friends. So it's more fun being in the audience than it is working. But hey, this is our job, so I can't complain. It was awesome. I absolutely love hanging out at the Barker Hangar. It's great.
Well, it was great. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Nico.
I threw Opti into the fire. He's never done high profile interviews, and I wasn't available because I was doing the live streams. I was running around. I had to be on panels, and it was Opti's first interviews with like Preston Pish, Greg Foss.
Wait, hold on. Give some context. Not only did you give me the high profile, Bitcoiners to interview, you're literally like, all right, you got a minute. You're doing these interviews with these guys. It's like, okay, like, can I prepare at least? Like, nope, you got to go live now. I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's go.
But he performed under fire, which is good. So, Kristen, I'm super excited already. I know it's like a year out. What do you...
Wait, Nico, before we do that, Kristen, can you tell us what the improvement was from last year to this year, from the first year, from the rookie season to the sophomore season, and then we can get into what we got in store for the third year.
Yeah, I was going to say, as long as you don't ask me anything that happened on stage, because much like you, I was running around working the conference, and you definitely have a different experience. Super fun to get to put it on for everybody. But you do miss some of the fun along the way. But it was great to see the event improve year over year. We definitely heard tremendous feedback last year, our very first Pacific Bitcoin conference, of course. This year, we've switched it up and turned it into a festival. And next year, as we'll talk about, we're going to lean harder into that vibe. But I think it was more just the logistics, making sure everything's smooth, making sure check-in went really easy peasy this year, which it did. We had no drama with anybody getting in. We had amazing food trucks. We did have one food truck breakdown on day one, so that was a little not fun, but all of that was smoothed out by day two. Amazing VIP experience for our VIP ticket holders. We throw an amazing party at the bungalow with a full buffet and, all you can eat, and beautiful bars and beautiful people to network with and friends to make along the way. And I think, honestly, the biggest compliment we ever get at Pacific Bitcoin is the energy, which is as much from the attendees as it is the conference and the festival team and the speakers. We're a much smaller proportion. So to me, I always want to make sure I'm complimenting everybody who shows up to Pacific Bitcoin, because you're really who make that vibe so special. The other thing that we wanted to keep from last year was just making it really accessible to bump into the who's who at the event, whether it's last year, Michael Saylor or Lynn Alden or Greg Foss or Corey Clipston or Nico and Opti, that you get to kind of rub elbows with people, whether you're a VIP or not. I think that is definitely one of the more fun elements. We had the Red Bull DJ truck out at the court, which I thought was amazing. One of the few pieces of one of the sessions that I actually got to see was a Swan, Nick Payton, on the basketball court wrestling with, a world Olympic champion and MMA, and now I'm going to forget his name. Somebody help me.
Ben Askren.
Ben Askren. Holy cow. I was screaming like I was Nick's mother from the sidelines, hoping that he didn't get hurt. But he did amazing. But watching people literally wrestle Ben Askren like 5 feet in front of your face, that is a crazy experience. Did you guys get to catch any of that? I'm guessing not.
I caught the beginning of it, and then I had to run.
Yeah, but one of our crew, Adele, actually got onto the mats. And I think he
I don't think he wrestled Ben, but he was rolling.
He wrestled Brian DeMint from the Orange Collab.
Oh, okay.
So he was part of that whole scuffle, but
he was trying to get that million sat bounty.
It was there's something, and I'm not saying this because I work at Swan, but there's something about the Pacific Bitcoin Festival, the energy. It's probably Kristen, right? It's
probably me.
Kristen.
I would go with
it's
me.
Probably
Sure.
Kristen, but there's something
not at all
so special, so homey. I think it's a combination of Kristen, the hanger, the Swans, the overall vibe, the basketball court. I think, I think the fact that it's not called a conference, it's called a festival, I think really hits that nail on the head, right? It was truly an awesome experience. I highly recommend it for anyone if you're trying to get a job in the industry. Actually, me and Opti, we met for the first time at a Bitcoin conference. So this is your opportunity to go and meet some of your favorite Bitcoiners, potentially get a job in the industry, see what it's all about. And what Kristen was saying earlier, if you want to see some of the most high profile Bitcoiners just walking around the floor, the Pacific Bitcoin Festival is where you're going to be able to see that. I remember last year, I never really met Lynn. She never came on my podcast. She's super popular, and Simply was a pretty decent size at that time. And I ran into her right before you go into the main stage, where all the booths are. And I had a conversation with Lynn. She had no idea who I was. And I said, Lynn, I'm a super fan. And we talked for 35 minutes, and then she ended up coming on my podcast I think it was like a couple weeks later. That is the Pacific Bitcoin Festival. You're gonna get those types of moments. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. So Kristen, what are you looking forward to next year? Because we one-upped it this year. What are we gonna do next year?
Oh my gosh, I know. Why am I making my life difficult? I gotta one up every year, but I am here for it, and I'm watching the comments, and I'd love for your viewers and your fans to let us know in the comments as well. We are sending out a survey today too. So if you came and you bought a ticket, you'll get a survey. We definitely want to hear from you, but the feedback we're getting is people really love the festival vibe. A lot of you are tried and true Bitcoiners. You've been around the block. You want to hear some great talks, of course, but you also just want to have a really good time hanging out with other Bitcoiners and in the Bitcoin lifestyle. And so I think things like the MMA fights or wrestling, adding more of those sporting elements that aren't just basketball. We had basketball in year one. We added the wrestling / MMA vibes this year. I think we want to see how we can play with that and keep leaning into adding new sports and new activities that align with the Bitcoin ethos of staying happy and healthy and getting fresh sunlight and just enjoying your life while you're Bitcoining. I want to add personally, I am a huge comedy nerd. I don't know if either of you are. I would love to see us pull in some comedy, and we definitely want to pull in more music. Tip NZ's performance, rave reviews. It was right before lunch, so I feel a little like I wish that the room were a little more packed for her. It was like a little light. Some people had headed out a little early, but man, that audience was electric. By the end of her performance, people jumped up on her feet. I was backstage. We shoved her back on stage. We're like, get out there. The people love you. They went crazy for her again. what we're hearing from the community is music and entertainment that is on the Bitcoin ethos, on the vibe. People are all about it. So we'll still bring you great educational talks, but I think pulling in all of these other entertaining pieces that really will make this a festival and keep on building on the festival vibe is the way to go. But again, I'm going to be looking at the comments as well to see what you all want, because that's what matters more than what I want. And yeah, I see a lot of people giving tip. And by the way, if you got a chance to meet her, she is the sweetest thing in the whole world. When she's up there, she's so commanding and fierce with her performance. But then when you meet her, she's just sweet as pie, like so many Bitcoiners. Surfer Jim was one of our lead volunteers, one of the, I call him affectionately a salty dog on Twitter. What a huge heart in person, and he was last year as well. So I'm absolutely, obviously, a big fan of Bitcoiners, and we love bringing you all together at Pacific Bitcoin. So keep letting us know here in the comments on the survey that you get today if you attended. And then definitely, as Nico was saying, you know, we've got the tickets nice and low right now. They're fully refundable until February. So come on in, grab your tickets. We can't wait to see you next year. And I'm going to be hard at work along with the rest of the crew, beefing things up for next year. But I'm kind of curious, Opti and Nico, what of everything I was rattling off, what would you all like to see more of next year?
Yeah, I love the comedy aspect. I think that would add more to like the festival vibe. We're getting a comment from J-Dub Laker. He said, but awesome to meet you, brother. He said, dude, I met Lynn and Jimmy Song and I got signed books from them. How much more epic can it get? I was in Bitcoin heaven.
Yes.
And speaking of Tip, I do want to show this real quick. Tip approved our tips, right? So, and what do I mean by that? So, so BTC Sessions started a movement. I decided to copy him, and we touched the tips in Miami. We got another swan, Nathan Fast, but this would not be official without Tip approving the tip. So all this happened at the festival. That's right. We have tinfoil in our hair. While we were dyeing it. So yeah, it was absolutely incredible. I actually have a video of the Tip NZ performance. I'll kind of play it in the background while we discuss. But yeah, like I think the comedy aspect of, I think it would be great. I think, I love the sports aspect. I think more live performances, Kristen. Yeah. I think people really connected with that. It's so unique to the Pacific Bitcoin Festival compared to a lot of other Bitcoin conferences where it's just education. It's just talks, sometimes those talks are dark, because this is the separation of money and state. Some things are some dark topics, right? So yeah. Anyways, Opti, what would I know that you were just working your ass off backstage, brother.
Pretend you were attending.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I would say is I just need more steak for the food trucks. Just more steak, more pure steak, and I'm good with it. Everything else, what you guys touched on, I think would be a great improvement. And then, of course, like Kristen was saying, having more. I don't know how to put it, like activities that aren't necessarily Bitcoin related, but are Bitcoin related, because it is a festival after all. And I noticed when I was there and I just hung out with my Bitcoin friends, like we weren't really talking about Bitcoin too much. We just talk about the world and life and, doing activities with other Bitcoiners. Just it's always a good time because you can kind of get over the small talk of like, oh, do you know what Bitcoin is? It's kind of just like, all right, like bet, let's have fun. It's like, how's the world going? Like, I remember having a conversation at lunch with Peter Dunworth and Luke Broyles, and we're talking about like what's going on in Australia and what's going on around the world. And I rarely had like actual Bitcoin conversations per se. It was more just like, what are you seeing and how's the world going and where are we headed with this? And it's just, that's the conversations that I like very philosophical stuff. So more activities so Bitcoiners can get involved, have fun, enjoy the time. But of course, we need more steak. It needs to have more steaks.
More steak, baby. Yeah, I saw Jestifer, my friend Jesse, who
I love Jestifer.
Runs Amboss. A lot of you know him. He lived in Portland a few years ago, and I saw him talking to Jan Pritzker, and I was like, oh, I hope they're masterminding something together. So it is such a fun time to see your friends and to see what they're doing with their businesses, with their careers. I saw DJ Val, who kicked off our wrap party. She's always a ray of sunshine. And I got to hold Pierre and Morgan Richard's baby. So I kind of feel like I won the entire festival just right there.
did you feel more sats coming when you held
did you feel more toxic and Austrian after touching the
I did, and unfortunately their baby wanted Morgan way more than me. So there was a lot of crying involved in this interaction. But I still felt very honored. To be touched by the Richard baby energy was definitely a highlight for me.
So guys, we have about a minute or so left of the tip performance. I want to play you guys a part of it, and then we'll move on to the news section.
The path of gravity, computational energy makes time flow one way only. It is this irreversibility which gives value to our money by applying consensus and scarcity to create one shared reality. Now the map is the territory. Now we're working with high fidelity. Now money is truthfully time and energy bound by finality. Now we have the ability to manifest each of our dreams and build a world that is much more reflective of all of our needs. And that's the purpose of money. Merely a tool to shape our reality, merely a function to harness and express individuality. Just a way to live freely. Just means the possibility when we build on a tailoring and enhance the beauty of humanity. The most beautiful societies are built from diversity of our thoughts that come to life when we're empowered individually. Because with money tomorrow is worth more than today. We shift from predicting to creating the future ourselves. And when our money grows in value, we grow thoughtful in how we use it. Natural or private rigor needed to fund something enduring, something truly worth it, something that pushes the sky's limit, something only possible now with value and consequence exists in boundless virtual dimensions. Imagine potential creations. Fueled by monetary life was lasted for many generations. We will venture into new territories and unleash these possibilities once we learn to embrace the truth of our reality.
Woo! Now listen, that's called motherfucking bond.
That was actually the only presentation that I caught.
Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Guys, you can only have these experiences at the Pacific Bitcoin Festival. Get your tickets now while the prices are cheap. $249 for a GA ticket. I want to thank the mastermind and the genius behind the Pacific Bitcoin movement, the Pacific Bitcoin Festival. Kristen Thompson, thank you so much for joining us today on Simply Bitcoin Live. We really, really appreciate it. Guys, there is a link down in the video description, as well as the QR code on your screen. I made it super easy for you guys. It will take you directly to the Pacific Bitcoin Festival, where you can get yourself some tickets. Kristen, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thanks for having me, and I'll see you guys back next year.
Thanks, Kristen. Appreciate it. All right, everybody, let's jump straight into the news.
The Daily News.
I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Foundation Devices. It's self-custody done right. They built a premium grade hardware wallet called Passport right here in the US. It's fully open source and verifiable. It's the most intuitive Bitcoin wallet designed with a UX reminiscent of a simple feature phone. So you will know how to navigate it and use it the moment you pick it up. Get your Bitcoin off exchanges and into your own hands in just a few minutes. Experience the peace of mind that comes with taking ownership of your own keys. After a massive sellout during Bitcoin Miami 2023, the Passport is back in stock at foundationdevices.com. Bitcoin only, open source verifiable, completely air gap security model, gorgeous design craft, premium grade materials. If you're thinking about getting your Bitcoin off exchanges, this is the one for you. Check out the Passport link in the show notes below to learn more. All right, everybody, I made it super freaking easy for you guys. I always make it easy for you guys. All you got to do is scan the QR code on your screen and it will take you directly to the Foundation Devices website, where you can get yourself a Passport Bitcoin hardware wallet, completely open source. This thing is absolutely beautiful. Look at it. Look at it. The attention to detail. The back is made of this beautiful copper-like material. I heard there's Snake even on the phone if you want to play Snake on your hardware wallet. They have it all. It's open source. Like I said, get yourself a Bitcoin hardware wallet, not your keys, not your Bitcoin. And of course, we recommend the Passport by Foundation. All right, everybody. So I called this. You know what? I don't feel bad anymore saying that I called things. Okay, I don't feel bad anymore. All right, because I felt bad for a long time because I'm like, fuck, I'm a conspiracy theorist. Blah 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 blah. You know, like I felt guilty in a way. You know, but this is just like common sense, right? I said, you see how easily Apple can deplatform Twitter? The Apple's deplatformed. I forget what the name of the app was, but it was during the January 6th protests. What was the name of the platform? Anyways, they deplatformed it from the App Store. And I said governments will pressure Apple to do the same with Bitcoin wallets. Pay attention, right? And before it was government, it was actually Apple themselves, the company that told Nostr, hey, you can't have Zaps on the platform. As a content creator, I love the fact that I would post something on Nostr and people would just stream me sats. They took that away from me. But that was Apple themselves. And fine, you know, it's a private company. You know, I'm a capitalist after all. They're protecting their moat. They have their own payment platforms. Okay, fine, right? But the next evolution of this, and I posted this back in November 28th, 2022. I said that eventually governments were going to tap on the door of Apple, knock on the door of Apple. And I think that's exactly what just happened. October 3rd, 2023, this is no BS Bitcoin. Apple bows to China, starts enforcing App Store regulations in the country. Apple has started requiring new apps to show proof of Chinese government license before their release on the China App Store, joining local rivals that have adopted the policy for years earlier to meet tightening state regulations. Quote, China announced its new app laws in August 2023, saying that developers must be either based in the country or partnered with one that is. There are then privacy issues over where users' personal data is held, but the law primarily gives the Chinese government total control over what apps can be sold in its country. Apple resisted the law change to the point of reportedly having staff meet with Chinese officials to object it. Even following this, Apple still held out despite Chinese protests. According to Reuters, however, Apple has now begun complying. As of Friday, September 29, 2023, Apple has required developers to submit their internet content provider filing with submitting new apps. China has allowed a grace period for developers to comply, but new apps that ended in September 2023, existing apps have until March 2024. This is the separation of money and state. I saw this happening because Apple has a closed ecosystem. The wallet of Satoshi, you download from the App Store. Blue Wallet, you download that from the App Store. If Elizabeth Warren gets her way, even though it's highly unlikely and she passes this bill, it would force software developers to KYC. So imagine opening Wallet of Satoshi. It says, hey, you know how easy it is? I love Wallet of Satoshi. I know it's custodial, but I love Wallet of Satoshi, especially with people getting in, because all you got to do is you download it. And as soon as you download it, you're ready to receive Satoshis. You're ready to receive Bitcoin. It's super easy. Could you imagine you download Wallet of Satoshi? Because this is what they would want. It said, please enter your ID. Please enter your date of birth, your name, your last name, your country of origin. Oh, you happen to be from Cuba, a country that the U.S. has sanctioned against? Sorry, you can't download Wallet of Satoshi. They're trying to make they're trying to make Bitcoin into an extension of the existing financial system. That's why you hear words like hosted wallet and unhosted wallet. That's why they use those words. And we can't allow that to happen. And the way that we win this race, the race to avoid the war, like Corey Clipson has said so many times, so we can go into this bright orange future, it's by winning the adoption race, is by spreading the signal, is by taking human agency, taking action as an individual. Orange pill the people around you. Remind them that it's not left versus right. It's orange versus green. That is how you win. That's how we win this thing. So yes, look, the West has already fallen in love with the China model. The politicians here, they love the CBDCs. They love the social controls that come with the CBDCs. They're salivating at the mouth. I think there's comments by Barack Obama and Justin Trudeau basically making the case that one of the things that they love about China is that the politicians could just, give an order and things get done, essentially. So I don't think they'll be as strict in the West because of it, because of its history and its cultural, but they'll definitely try to implement a China light model in the US. It is not cash that's going to save you. It is not gold that's going to save you from this dystopian future that they want all of us to live in, while they have total control, not only of money, but also the issuance of money, the control of truth. Bitcoin is the salvation. So when I say Bitcoin or slavery, I'm not exaggerating. And I'm going to start changing it. Fuck Bitcoin or slavery. Bitcoin or death. What is that famous saying from the American Revolution? Give me liberty or give me death. Yes, it's not hyperbolic. I don't want to live. I don't want to live, and I don't want my children to live in a world where they don't get to pick and choose what money they can use and what money they can't use. I don't want my children to live in a world where a bureaucratic elite get to dictate what they can and cannot do with their money. I don't want my children to live in a world where their purchasing power, their life force, their work, their time is being stolen from by a bureaucratic class that is taking that money and using it to fund endless wars. Anyways, this is pretty fucking crazy. This is an escalation. This is what I thought was going to happen. This is exactly what is happening. And just to kind of add the little cherry on top, if you think that this isn't coming to the US, there's already little inklings of it. There's already little, there's little cracks that are starting to show up. Here is T-Bone, a fellow Bitcoiner, and says more from Gemini regarding their new anti-cold storage withdrawal policies. More hoops to jump through to obtain my Bitcoin. Move it to cold storage. I wish Swan was available in New York again so I wouldn't have to go through this. And let's take a look at the email. Thanks for providing that information. Before we could take next steps with your account, we will require the following: confirmation of the actual wallet address to which you'll be drawing, confirmation of the platform, program, site, app, group, or identity that hosts the wallet, documentation of wallet ownership. Okay, hold on a second. How do you prove that you own a Bitcoin wallet? That's the whole point. That's where they're going with this, is that they don't want Bitcoin wallets that aren't tied to identities. You cannot have freedom without privacy. Anyways, it goes on to say, this information and documentation will be required to proceed, meaning we'll hold your shit hostage until you dox yourself or you give us stuff that might not even be possible. Like, how do you document? Like, let's say I'm holding Bitcoin on an Electrum wallet. How do I prove ownership of that wallet? Do I just take a screenshot of it? It's like, it's mine. Like, dude, absurd. And this is where it's going. And this is why we must fight back. And the way that we fight back is through education. We fight back through education. So anyways, before we continue, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor. It is going to be the largest Bitcoin conference on planet Earth, Bitcoin 2024. It's going to be in Nashville, Tennessee this year. You definitely don't want to miss it. You want to get your tickets quickly before the prices go up. It's going to be the year of the halving, July 25th through the 27th, 2024, Nashville, Tennessee, not in Miami this year. For a GA ticket, it's $349. For an industry pass, if you're trying to get a job in the industry, I recommend this one, $849. And for a whale pass, $4,749. Opti and I are going to be there. It's going to be the biggest celebration, Bitcoin celebration on planet Earth. You definitely don't want to miss it. Bitcoin 2024. All right, Opti, what are your thoughts on this, brother? Like, you know, it's like we called this. I just want to say we called it, dude. Like, shameless plug. Like, we called this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really that surprised, to be honest, to hear this Apple news. I think anyone that follows along closely, especially in American business interests and American politics, it does seem like there's a lot of favoritism towards China and CCP. Of course, if they told you to do something, you got to abide by what's going on. So, of course, they're going to try to maintain their Google App Store. So it is what it is on that front. And so I'm going to just kind of double down on what you said. You said to fight back, we need education. And I'm going to go a little further. Like, to fight back, guys, what we need is more people downloading Bitcoin wallets. Like, yes, if they remove Bitcoin wallets from the app stores, of course, it's going to be harder to download those wallets in particular. But that's why most of the really good Bitcoin wallets out there have either open source their code or given you ways so you can build the app yourself on your phone or, you know, your Android or whatever. So like, you don't have to necessarily download them on or from the app stores. You can also usually use their wallets through like web browsers and stuff. And so I think the Bitcoiners that are thinking, what's the word? The opposite. When they're thinking about attack vectors, they are thinking about this and getting ahead of the game. And so the most important thing to be doing, guys, is to be downloading these Bitcoin wallets, making sure more people are downloading Bitcoin wallets so that we can, you know, start the fabled circular economy so that more and more people are holding Bitcoin. So the more that people hold Bitcoin, the more obvious it is that these tyrants and authoritarians are trying to stop freedom money. And once Bitcoin exposes their incentives to stop you from having freedom, then it becomes more obvious that these people aren't working for you and they don't have your best interest in mind. And so, you know, I think it'll be one of these things where we're not going to necessarily see a direct attack on Bitcoin yet, but we will see, like Nico kind of pointed out, and you know, Nostradamus dust about, they will start to try to stop Bitcoin wallets from being downloaded on these Google or Apple app stores. And so it's important to make sure that the wallets you're using are at the very least, you know, letting you source build the app yourself, maybe open source as well. Obviously, these aren't the silver bullets to everything, but the most important thing to be doing, guys, is downloading Bitcoin wallets, making sure more people are downloading Bitcoin wallets. And yeah, there's going to be an inevitable clash between the legacy system and Bitcoin. And hopefully we can get enough people holding Bitcoin so it doesn't really matter. And so we just continue to route around them. I'm convinced that Bitcoin, no matter what, will route around any type of attempt to stop it. It already has. It will continue. And I really do believe in human ingenuity. And I think entrepreneurs will figure out ways to do what is best for themselves and their family. And the more that governments fight Bitcoin, the more I know that we are on the right track. So I don't know. It is I guess I told you so moment, but also a little bit bittersweet. And then as well, just kind of buckle down and get yourself ready and make sure your ducks are in a row. Hence why we keep telling you guys constantly to run nodes, to take your Bitcoin off exchanges, to make sure your wallets are backed up, to make sure you are having good UTXO hygiene, because you do not want to get hit and be blindsided when an inevitable crazy event happens. And we're going into a bull run, so it's going to get crazy anyways. So the fervor, the FOMO, and the mania is going to be upon us, boys and girls. So make sure you are doing what you need to do today so that you are prepared. As the saying goes, if you need Bitcoin, then it's too late. you should have probably stacked some sacks. Anyways,
bro. Amen to that, brother. Yeah, dude, it's these are crazy fucking times, bro. These are fucking crazy times. And because they're crazy times, guys, it's never been a better time to support the Bitcoin network. Make it more secure. That's why you should be mining Bitcoin. Have you thought about mining Bitcoin? Has it ever crossed your mind? Well, if you thought about mining Bitcoin and you don't know where to start, we got your back. You got to check out Kaboom Racks. They are the best place to buy Bitcoin miners. That's where you're going to get the best deals, the best prices. They also offer repair and hosting services all in one day, all in one place. You can check out the link down in the video description and start launching your Bitcoin mining journey with Kaboom Racks today. I made it super easy for you guys. You can scan the QR code on your screen right now. It will take you directly to the Kaboom Racks website. And also, the QR code will take you directly to the Kaboom Racks Telegram group marketplace. You're going to find the latest and greatest deals there. And also check out the video description, and that will take you to the Kaboom Racks website. Anyways, everybody, no more delay. The time that you guys have all been waiting for, it's time to review some memes. Let's check it out.
The Daily Meme Review.
all right, guys, this first one, this meme review is gonna be a little clunky. Anyways, tweet to the bullets, memes to the artillery. You are in the front lines. You are in an information war. Continue to get the calls of action out there. Continue to ridicule the corporate press. Continue to make some funnies so that your friends' heads stay in the game, guys. This is the most important thing, is to make sure you stay focused. And how do you stay focused? You make some funny memes that continue to get the calls of action out there, that continue to double down on the fundamentals and continue to spread the signal. Yeah, Nico, I have one. I have this meme here. Just wait. All right, first one, though, is by Bitcoin Dane. He hit us in the chat yesterday, and we told him to tag us on the timeline. So here we go. Bitcoin Dane goes, I know it's a small step, but if we all do this everywhere, every day, people would wake up faster. And we got this little video here. I guess this is a bank. Can't really tell. It looks like a bank.
Opti and Nico. Bitcoin or slavery?
Let's go. Okay. Shouts out to Bitcoin Dane for one second. For chalk linings, for doing a very safe graffiti about Bitcoin or slavery. Anyways, as Nico already blew our load, shouts out to Copernicus in the chat. And you guys know Janet Yellen, Chrissy Lagarde, we're at some meeting this week. Anyways, Copernicus goes, at Simply Bitcoin TV, staying hard has never been easier. And it's the Opti face that he screen recorded that I lagged, I don't know, like a month ago, that is now his new favorite meme template. And it's me doing an O face looking at Chrissy Lagarde and Janet Yellen. You dirty dog. You. Okay, next one by Beauty On. He just goes, hashtag Bitcoin. And this is a play on the classic scene in The Shining, where I forget what her name is. She reads Jack Nicholson's writing, and it's all the same thing. But instead of all work, no play makes Jack a dope boy, it's buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. This is all you need to know. Continuously buy Bitcoin. We are playing Hungry Hippo with Bitcoin. You need to buy Bitcoin. You need to hodl. This is the way. Okay, next one is by Wojak Bitcoin, and it goes, how many hours of study do you have? And this is the progression of your Bitcoin understanding that David Marcus, in the beginning of the show, has found himself through. So we have Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, and it goes, with 0 hours of study, you will say Bitcoin is a scam. We have Peter Schiff here with 10 hours of study. You will say governments are going to ban it. We got Elon Musk and what the actor guy that came out and said that Bitcoin, he's from the OC, I forget what his name is. It goes, with 100 hours of study, you will say Bitcoin is crypto. And then we got BitBoy and Udi, and it goes, with 1,000 hours of study, you will say Bitcoin is going to make me rich. And then with 10,000 hours of study, you might just become BTC Sessions and dye your hair, or Matt Crater from Bitcoin University, or Andres Antonopoulos, and say Bitcoin is going to set everyone free. This is the way. Okay, next one is by Stampseed. And I'm sure you guys heard the news that FTX had a trial. I think it was Wednesday, I believe, when this news came out. And the courtroom drawing has been gone viral, and everyone heard the news that FTX was selling customers Bitcoin to keep the price low under 20K. And the tweet goes 20K maxi with a bear, and we have the Bitcoin price, and we have the Caroline Ellison, I believe her name is, with laser eyes saying 20K maxi, trying to keep the Bitcoin under 20K. And they failed, and they got wrecked. This is the way, guys. Anyways, next one is by Glocky at Cluckies _ on Twitter, and it goes, good morning, with the sun emoji. And we got a normie here, normie girl giving side eye to a Bitcoiner, which is me, and a giant coffee cup that is Bitcoin. And then he's got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coffee cups on the side. This is literally me every single morning. I wish I had a coffee cup that big. That would be epic. Anyways, next meme is Maxi's Club. And we got a Bitcoiner here, or rather, it's $1. And it's in a psychedelic daze, and it's $1. It's like, what is actually, it took psychedelics, and it's like, what is my life purpose? And then we got the Bitcoiner here with laser eyes, and it goes, you help people buy Bitcoin. The dollar's only purpose is to help people buy Bitcoin. It's the only use case left of the dollar. It's to stack more sets. Okay. Yesterday, we got this post here from Paul Krugman, which is just a meme in and of itself. Like, sometimes I say it all the time, people unironically meme themselves. And we got Paul Krugman here, and he's got a CPI chart, and he goes, the war on inflation is over. We won at very little cost. And shouts out to the community note. And it goes, the exclusion of food, shelter, energy, and used cars is misleading. All prices included in CPI shows year-over-year inflation at 3.75 as of September 2023. Well, Brady Swenson, aka at Citizen Bitcoin from Swan Bitcoin, takes it even further. He goes, CPI, including food, energy, shelter, and used cars, is at 20.41%. Absolutely amazing. The numbers don't lie. This is why they constantly manipulate the CPI, because I think everyone that is awake, every average person out there that is going to the grocery store, that is buying gas, that is paying rent, they all feel the same thing. Inflation is not 2, 3, 4, even 5%. Everything seems to be 20 to 30% more expensive than it was last year, than it was a few years ago. And as we always say, you cannot hide the pain of your purchasing power dwindling. So I'm glad that Brady ran the numbers and that we have 20% CPI numbers to most likely be a lot closer to reality. It really does feel like the dollar has dwindled 20%. Anyways, drop your meme review score in the chat, and we will cover ours live.
But before we do that, I want to give a shout out to our awesome merch. Opti is going to do 5 twirls today. He's wearing the classic Simply
I can't do twirls. I can't do twirls. The twirls, it doesn't work.
He will do backflips. Opti is going to do 3 backflips in his dad's office.
No.
You're a terrible model, bro.
Hi, friends. Get yourself a bright orange Simply Bitcoin hoodie. They are comfy. They are awesome. Everyone says I look like Kenny. You can wear them hunting so other hunters know that you are out there, and you can spread Simply Bitcoin when they ask you, do you like Bitcoin? Buy my shitcoin? You go, no, it is Simply Bitcoin. Read the hoodie. And then you are a bright walking billboard, and everyone will wonder, why is this guy obsessed with orange? Well, orange coin's good. I love orange coin. Yum, yum. Sats. I love Bitcoin.
All right. Round of applause for Opti. So yes, guys, it helps. It really does help support the show if you buy our merch. Help us stay on air. Help us become more independent. Please. And what was I going to say? Yeah, you could find the link in the video description, or You can scan the QR code on your phone, and it makes it's even easier. Anyways, everybody, let's get to.
Oh, I was looking for mine. I know what my meme review
I'm gonna
score
give
is.
it a glass water.
Wait. Can we acknowledge the fact that you no longer drink from plastic water bottles and now you are a glass water maxi?
I'm a glass water maxi. Glass
if you know,
water
you know.
maxi.
Nico is leveling up in life. I am proud to see it. If I could Indian tier right now, I definitely would. Anyways, my meme review score is I was gonna.
Opti just I took him off air.
What? I'm getting censored. No. I was gonna grab something from my dad's desk, but I realized I haven't gave the score. So I got this Elsa. Oh, this is racist. This is censorship. El Salvador hat.
I'm Hispanic too, motherfucker.
This has become my new favorite hat. It was on the desk at Pacific Bitcoin. I pretty much stole it. I asked Nico, I'm like, where'd you get this? He's like, I don't know. It's like, all right, well, this is mine now.
They gave me one too. They gave me, those guys are awesome. Anyways, I'm gonna give it the
I'm
glass.
giving it this.
Yeah, that's a good score. So the glass water bottle and the Start 9 t-shirt, by the way, they make the best nodes. If you're trying to get a Bitcoin node, check out Start 9. They're freaking awesome.
Yellow's freaking out because that CPI wasn't a meme. I know if you watch the beginning of the show, I said I was going to put it in the end of the show, in the memes. I get it. Anyways, we got one more thing. Hold on.
No.
Oh, wait. Bitcoin Bugle wants me to talk about replicators. Dude, I'm having an existential crisis. I can't tell if I'm a replicator or not. I don't know what replicators are. I read the Bugle article about replicators, but I'm still confused. Yellow, Richard Greaser, how do I know if I am a replicator or not? I am having an existential crisis right now. Am I a robot? I don't know. I'm wondering. Okay. Anyways, we got some meme review scores here. Oh, wait, hold on. I forgot. I'm doing the music. All right, here we go.
All right, first,
this is gonna
score.
check this out. This is gonna get copyright.
No,
even
it's
just
not.
yeah, dude. Even the video will get copyrighted. I'm telling you. I've done it before.
But we're talking over it.
It still doesn't matter. We did that in the past. It's still gonna get copyrighted.
No!
Yeah. All right, read the score.
All right, Bitcoin Beautiful, receipt of my $20 buy on Bitcoin on Swan for Jai Hodl.
You're a madman, bro.
All right. I give the memes an $8 head of lettuce.
Oh, wow, really?
Igor, I give the memes freedom with no privacy. A Rave Elevator, I give the memes cheers to Simply Bitcoin Halloween costume stream.
Oh, wait, we're gonna have to do that again. Damn. I might actually need a costume.
Skip down the road, meme score higher than a giraffe's nuts. That's right, everybody. Opti is a giraffe. Bitcoin is true. Opti catches Chrissy's eye with the new Simply Bitcoin merch. That's why he got it, bro.
That's why it's so bright.
He's trying to get her attention again, man. Trying to get her attention again.
I want her daughter. Does she have a daughter? I don't know. I have no idea.
They're trying to get Opti's trying to get Chrissy's attention again. In fact, he wants them both back. He wants them both back. Anyways, Bitcoin for Canadians. I give the memes Mark Zuckerberg putting a few billion of his Facebook dollars into Bitcoin. Okay. Next one, Yellow. I give the memes a sharpening of my life. Yellow's been a very angry Muppet as of late.
He's coming for me. I kicked him out of Spaces the other day. He's very mad at me. But we read your score. Couple more.
To that feeling.
J-Dub, the Laker, 21 mil. Hey, brother, it was great to see you at the Pacific Bitcoin Festival, dude.
Wait.
Opti's key to Chrissy's penthouse.
All right, let's read this one. This one's
guilt just ain't enough anymore, and a girl with a super
that one's fine. That one seemed fine. All right,
guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Simply Bitcoin Live. We appreciate you guys for holding it down through the week, and I hope you guys have been enjoying the content. We would not be here without you all. Really love you guys. We appreciate it. Shout out to our audience on Rumble. Continues to grow. We're really appreciative of you guys over there. Shout out to our audience on Fountain, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on Twitter, on X. So shout out to all you guys. So
this guy gets it.
Really appreciate it. Guys, if you enjoyed the show, it really helps us. Smash the like button. It tells the algos to push the content
do the fake share thing where you like copy the share button and you don't have to share it. I think that's the real hack.
Consider subscribing if you feel like we provided you value. But the number one thing you could do to help push the peaceful Bitcoin revolution is share this content. Get the orange signal out there. We have to win the race to avoid the war. Guys, we love you all. Have an amazing weekend. We'll be back Monday, 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for another episode of Simply Bitcoin Live. In the meantime, we'll be dropping Simply originals over the weekend, so you guys will have your doses of Simply. We don't stop. Honey Badger Media don't stop. 7 days a week, baby. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Opti, are you going to be doing spaces?
Yeah, we're live in spaces. We'll be here for 30 minutes.
Yeah, so we got, if you want to join the after party, join us on Twitter Spaces, which we co-host with our friends over at Swan Bitcoin, best place to build your Bitcoin stack. And we'll be doing that until 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, guys, love you all. We will see you on the next one. Peace out, everybody.
Oh my goodness. I have so much fun. I want to talk to everyone in the chat that I forget the seamless transition into the spaces. Anyways, guys, this is Friday's show on the Simply Bitcoin Spaces, a Bitcoin Spaces by Bitcoiners for Bitcoiners. So you already know Friday's show gets a little wild. I'm guessing it's going to get a little lighthearted. I'd much prefer some lighthearted send-offs going into the weekend. But shouts out to everyone in the YouTube chat.